Hey there. Oh, hey. Yeah, whatever. I'm winging it today. So. Hey there, peeps. Welcome back to Back of the Cereal Box. I am your host, social media socialite Willow Skylor. Johnny is away on business and gave me the keys to the Fortress of Solitude. So I invited a couple friends.
And here we are.
I know he usually does things a little bit differently, but this is my show now. So this is Confessions of a Geek Girl. Nope, wrong. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing, obviously.
Can we just keep singing?
All right.
I was way off. I'm like, what song was I singing?
I am so sorry about that. Welcome to Back of the Cereal Box. I am your host, Willow Skylor. With me today is DL Memphis and Kelly from Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. There was supposed to be Aubry showing up as well, but if she shows up, good on her. We'll invite her up anyway. What are you guys eating cereal?
Yes. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Ooh. What is there something fun on the back of that?
Yes. Pokemon.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
I am still eating, because this was a giant box of the, where's the camera? The Frosted Flakes Frosted Flakes with spooky marshmallows. And I have managed to sit here. I don't usually eat it with milk. So I'm sitting here picking out all of the marshmallows first. and then I'm just going to get down to the chocolate flakes. And the back is still cool. This one, okay, here's your rules on how to play the game. But there is a, it's a creepy game that's got,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I know. The artwork is gorgeous on it.
What?
Yeah, so that's what I'm chowing down on this morning.
I'm very basic with my cereal. Cheerios.
Cheerios are classic.
Cheerios. I was thinking about getting something really sugary, but at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of overly sugary cereals. So, although Cinnamon Toast Crunch is one of my favorites.
The only time I even eat cereal is when I'm doing the show. So it's just, it's an excuse. So I'm going to go buy the sugary stuff. Yeah. Get their stuff that's really, really bad for you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. So, did you guys get anything new this week? And anything fun, like comic books or?
Well,
it was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, DL.
No. You go right ahead. Please, Kelly.
Or any fun toys?
It was a light purchasing week for comic books and toys, but I did buy supplies for a Rogue costume.
Ooh, I can't wait to see that. Ooh. Johnny's watching, apparently.
Is Johnny making comments already? Oh, he's watching.
Boy.
Hi, Johnny. How are you?
We promise not to trash the studio too much, Johnny.
Oh no, we're totally trashing. Totally trashing. There's gonna be a kegger afterwards in the studio. The works. Come on.
All right. So I won this from the episode where Johnny interviewed Eric Olson, and so it came in finally, and it has a ring with a chain that for a trick that you're supposed to learn. And I was going to try to learn it for this episode, but it's just a lot of stuff happened this week. Catwoman.
I do. Okay, so I grew up a DC girl. I think most people within my age bracket actually kind of grew up as a DC girl. It's like we were DC girls, fell in love with Wonder Woman, fell in love with Catwoman because we were watching the original Batman Adam West show. And I mean, all three of those Catwomen, Eartha Kitt, Julie Lamar, and Lee Merriweather were all perfection until, of course, we saw Michelle Pfeiffer and didn't realize it could be done any better. And whew, Lord have mercy. But then, of course, from that point, I did move over into more of the goth girls. But right now, I am reading. I am reading two selections that cover my two favorite DC girls. I am reading Tim Hanley's Wonder Woman Unbound. Where is it?
Oh.
My brother, there's a camera somewhere. Okay.
Oh, I see it.
Okay. So my brother actually turned this one on to me, and it's a history of, basically Wonder Woman and a little bit of information about where she came from. And it's been a very interesting read because it does talk about her creation and her history and bondage and, the overlap to that. But a little funny thing, when I started looking through this, I realized that I had put my bookmark in there. And if any of y'all have ever seen the movie Harvey, okay, if you know what I'm talking about. So this was actually a chocolate bar wrapper from a live production of Harvey at
cool.
Theater Memphis. Oh yeah, Harvey is one of my favorite movies ever. But I'm like, there's something a little extra in there. And then, of course, the other book that I am reading is 75 Years of Catwoman, and I mean, it is beautifully drawn. Where's the camera? But where this one is more of the comic story, the Wonder Woman Unbound is actually, it's actually a real book with some images in it. And this one has been, if you're more of the comic book person, I'd lean towards this. Yeah. But if you want to know origins and you want to know history and the development of the character, this is an incredible read. It came highly recommended and I love it. So,
okay.
Yay.
That sounds fascinating.
It really is.
All right. So
I have one more thing.
Oh yeah, go for it. Okay. Go for it.
All right. So anybody who's following me on my Digging Deeper, on the Digging Deeper channel, or excuse me, on my Digging Deeper show, which is on the DL Memphis channel on YouTube, knows that I recently did an unboxing, a very unsatisfying for me unboxing of Cryptid Crate, and my next Cryptid Crate just came in. So hopefully something fun and new to redeem them, and hopefully somebody with Cryptid Crunch might be seeing this. So not that I'm hosting Cryptid Crunch, but
I'm excited for that. I definitely want to see what's in the bag. All right, so did that. I'm sorry. You know what? Let's just run with what we have here. So
no apologies.
We're loose. We can fly by the seat of our pants as well as the next person.
DL, you're into like the pinup culture, and Wonder Woman is a huge pinup persona. What actually got you into the pinup? Sorry. It looks like DL froze.
Sorry about the froze. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
I'm back.
Need to just shake this thing. So what got you into the pinup culture?
Actually, it wasn't comics per se. I grew up reading Wonder Woman, and I definitely see the influences. I think Wonder Woman actually appeals more to my feminist heart, just because of the strong character that she is, and just that aspect of it. First of all, I will tell you, my mother was not a pinup girl, but she could have been very easily. My mother was an absolute knockout, and she had all of the 1950s style traditional clothing, and all of these pictures. I grew up seeing these images of her and her 6 sisters, and they were all beauty queens and beautiful women.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I fell in love with the design and the lines first, but then I started doing research and, finding that there are women such as like Betty Page and Betty Grable that were just incredible. And I saw that and I'm like, yep, that's what I want to be. When I grow up, I want to be Betty Page. So actually, no, I wanted to be Elvira, but that's
me and you both. So yeah, and you do a lot of cosplay as well. So I'm glad to be around cosplay ladies here. I do Elvira, and that is my boudoir shoot that I did for a calendar. It's actually the same outfit that I'm wearing right now.
Awesome.
So yeah, no, if my husband's watching, yes, this is the reason why I'm wearing it. He was a little shocked that I was going to go on air with this outfit, but I'm like, I wear this all the time. Hey, Brian.
I'm actually in the process of upgrading my Elvira, hopefully in the near future, because she is a character. When I originally donned my Elvira, when I originally donned the costume and did the hair and stuff, I had a lot of people wanting to know if I would go out and do it, and like, especially during Halloween, it's like, can you make an appearance here? Can you make an appearance here? So I mean, it was just so much, and I'm like, I don't have a great costume. So I'm at that point that I'm like, okay, maybe I need to fix that.
Yeah. Has there, for both of you, has there been an outfit that you were trying to work on and you just rage quit on?
Oh God.
One?
Let me think about that one.
Or you just decided to put it away for a while and come back to it?
Okay, so I'm really stubborn. So
no.
I know that doesn't come across. So I usually the way I go with my good morning, Ryan. The way I go with my costumes is that once I buy the materials, I have to make it. But I always get to a point where I almost rage quit. That's part of my process. And I go, this is stupid. Why did I think I could make this? I suck. And then I get angry at myself. And then I get angry at the fact that I spent the money. And then I get spiteful. I'm like, I'll show her myself. This is into my crazy mind. And then I like push through it and make it. And yeah.
I don't rage quit, or I don't really think I rage quit. Generally what I do is I have a design that is in my head, and it is 100% in my head. The only thought, it's just like this terrible thought that's running loose through my head, and until I can purge that thought and complete that outfit, it's there. Once I get the outfit done, I'm good. But yeah, it's just more an all-consuming thought and that's what stresses me out.
I was trying to work on Elvira's burlesque outfit at the end of her movie, and sequins. Why did I think I could work with sequins?
Oh, do you hate yourself?
I bought the strip sequins and thinking that I could do like an iron-on sticker to make it stick, and then I was going to go back and sew them all on. And I'm just like, nothing, it wasn't staying. And then I was just getting frustrated. And then I'm just like, I'm never going to work with sequins ever again. I still have to go back to it yet. I made the sleeves. Like I sewed nylon stockings, fancy nylon stockings onto the sleeves. And even that, I was like, it was twisting up and just wasn't coming out nice. And I'm just like, this outfit one day will be spectacular, but not right now.
So what did you wear this outfit for? Because I mean, I'm picturing, if I remember correct, it is basically very sheer and very open with tassels.
Yes, it's
Sexy.
it's a nylon bodysuit, very white bodysuit that I bought, and so I bought the strip sequins and trying to do like the whole cross stitch and stuff like that all over it, and so yeah, and I bought a beige bra. I did the spider insignia on them and did like
Spider
the little
wings.
yeah.
Spider wings.
So eventually I will get to the point where I actually start practicing the tassel twirl.
Ooh la la.
So yeah, that's my next trick. But whether or not I will actually perform it on stage is another thing. Like I definitely want to go to a convention, but I will have like a sheer skirt to wear with it. But I don't think I'm comfortable enough to actually perform as a burlesque act.
Yeah, but
that,
you
and I
might
have
be.
to actually talk to my husband about that and see how comfortable he is with me doing that. How about you guys? Like, has burlesque ever been something on your mind to do?
No, I've actually. No, I'm sorry. No, I actually have a lot of friends in the burlesque industry, and I have a lot of respect for them. I didn't read that, but
one trade dish should be on
everyone's bookshelf. Okay. Ooh, the Legend of Wonder Woman. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking.
No. I asked the question and then I put that up. So we'll get back to Ryan's question in just a moment. But yeah, burlesque. Has there?
I have a lot of friends who either are in burlesque, have been in burlesque. Toy Robot Visual Arts. We actually worked with Velvetina when she came through Memphis and did a lot of some of her promo shots, and she was just a joy to work with. I've done stage kitting, I've done like VIP seating. So, I mean, I've been kind of in and around that realm. And so, I mean, I'm comfortable with it, but it's not really something that I've looked at and said, hey, you know what, I want to do that. But, you know, I have a ton of respect for any woman who will get out there and put herself out there, especially in this day and age when people are so more than willing to troll each other. So,
yeah.
So kudos.
Yeah. How about you, Kelly?
I've never done it, but I wouldn't mind learning. I do it.
See, I do follow quite a few burlesque dancers, and a lot of them are fellow nerds like us, and a lot of them do have. There was one group that they wanted me to be a part of their show at one point. So I actually did perform as Elvira for like they did a little talent show. So
Fun.
I did go up and dance and do a Elvira act for them, but I didn't do any stripping or anything. But a lot of them do have nerds in it. And they do perform as characters, and which is really awesome. One of my friends has done like Lola Bunny and yeah, and other superheroes. Awesome. It's beautiful when she goes up on stage and does this stuff, and I'm happy to see it more, like this world more expanding and women being more comfortable with who they are. And, you know, no apologies for being a nerd. Exactly. I love it. And it's empowering to be around other women who are freely showing their nerd badge.
I do have a funny story about
by all means.
A burlesque class that I took.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, don't get excited. It was kind of sketchy. No, it was a lot of fun. A friend of mine went, and I talked her into. I'm the planner of our group, my group of friends. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm usually the one who comes up with the ideas, and I'm like, hey, by the way, this is what we're going to be doing, and I'm like, I have no details. And then the next thing you know, you're showing up in some like warehouse in the middle of nowhere. And my friends are like, we're going to die, aren't we? We're going to die. And I'm like, no. So I have a friend that was at one point that was hosting a burlesque class. And it was like I think it was her first class out. And so I managed to talk one whole friend into taking this class with me. And I'm like, here's the guidelines. You have to wear a pencil skirt, a pair of high heels, and a tuck-in button-up shirt, and your underwear. And so, okay, we're good. So I show up to pick her up at her house, and she's putting on these Spanx that are from like her knees to her, like all the way up to here. And I'm like, what's the matter? I'm like, why are you wearing? I'm like, you got to get those things off, and it's got to be smooth. And she's like, it's not smooth. It's not smooth at all. I haven't been anyway. So we're like, okay, all right, you and your goat panties, come on. So we drive to the burlesque class. It's in a church. It's in a church.
Wow.
In a church. So we pull up to the building, and I'm looking, and I'm like, is this really a church? Are we really gonna strip in a church? Oh yeah, it was a church. So we walk through the sanctuary, and I'm just like, God, I'm so sorry. I paid. And so we go up to the upper levels, and first of all, it is just sweltering hot. There's a couple of burlesque girls that are going to assist and everything, and they're very nice. There's a couple of them that we were kind of debating what exactly they had been smoking prior, because they were just like, hi. And I mean, this is not the experience that I've ever had with burlesque dancers. And we were just, anyway, so we get there, and there is obviously no agenda for the class. So it's just here, I'm going to teach you how to walk. So the first 20 minutes of the class, we're teaching, it's like walk. And it's not like walk, it's walk, stop. And at some point, we come to the realization they're trying to teach us to dance. There's no music. There's no music. We are in a church. We are stomping. And I turned around, the hostess at one point, she's like, what would make you feel sexy? And somebody to the left of me, I know who it is, I'm not calling names, goes, I don't know, music? So anyway, the power goes out. And of course, somebody from behind us starts screaming. It's like, the devil's coming to get us. God is angry. And I'm like, it's because we're in a damn church. Pardon me, we're in a church. So we're trying to figure out how to get out of there. But anyway, with that said, it was a fun night. We had a blast. I have great tales. And yeah, so there is that. So that was my experience. My one and only experience with burlesque. Yes, I did manage to get the clothing off to a certain point, but I'm like, things got stuck, and you're just like, this is not how this is supposed to go. So yeah, but it was a blast. We had a lot of fun. It is one of our many adventures that we share. And okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Your turn.
That's hilarious.
As long as you got a story out of it.
Everything we do has a story out of it.
I am a giant klutz, and anytime that there's a stage involved, I worry about tripping and doing something like. So there was one time where another performance as Elvira for a convention, and for some reason I decided not to take the stairs. I decided to, just try to go up on the stage by actually just leaping up. Didn't work. It didn't work in my favor, but I won it anyway. I just kind of like swung myself around and walked up and did my thing. And I don't think people really noticed that, I had skinned my knee. But
it's those incidents that just add to everything. I don't know if you those are the situations. I was in a Harry Potter costume contest, and I was dressed as Bellatrix, of course. And of course, you know, I come in for, it's like everybody else is walking up and they're like, look at me, look at me. There was one girl that I'm like, oh, I think she should have won. But I started from the very, very back of the room and start skipping up to the stage screaming, I killed Sirius Black. And I mean, they were all looking around going, oh, shoot, she's really, I mean, oh, poop, she's really here. Sorry, Johnny. She's really here. And
it wasn't me.
It was Skylor. So I get on stage, and of course I'm maintaining the character the entire time, and I'm just like, you know, stomping my feet, crazy laughing. My best thought was, you know, I'm going to exit and I'm going to do this right. And I'm going to jump off the stage. That was not a wise idea. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, there are a lot of things that I do. I'm like, I'm going to jump. It's a lot further than it looks. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, the falling off the stage, I can understand. Oh God, just don't mentally think it's lower than it is, because it never is.
No, go ahead, Kelly.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't have a burlesque story, but I have a boudoir story about making Matt Ryan blush. Would you guys like to hear it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Also me being socially awkward because, hello.
I'm all about socially awkwardness. That should be my middle name, socially awkward.
This is why we get along so well.
My middle name's mildly psychotic, evidently.
This is why we get along so well. So, I had taken some Zatanna boudoir photos, which are not in the collection of photos I sent you because this is a family-friendly show.
But I do believe I've seen those on Instagram, haven't I?
I think so. Yes. Mm-hmm. I've shown a few on Instagram, not many. Most of them are behind the paywall on Patreon. Little plug there. So I had taken these a few months prior to a convention that Matt Ryan was at. So I had gone to this convention, and we're about to leave, and I hadn't met Matt Ryan because we just didn't do celebrity meets that time. I turn around, and he's just there in the middle of the con. He decided to walk the con and socialize with people because he's that cool. He's really nice, like super nice. Mm-hmm. So I waited my turn to talk to him because he made the choice to talk to people. I'm like, cool. What have I got to lose? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I don't know. So I go up and start talking to him. I started a conversation, and I was dressed as Black Canary, but I'm like, oh, I should have worn my Zatanna costume. To be clear, not my boudoir Zatanna costume. I have a normal one. I would not have walking around. Stalker. Yeah. Well, it was a good thing I was on the way out. He might have called security otherwise, because after we finished the story. So he's like, yes, you should have. And then we had a really nice conversation about how he was pushing for Zatanna to be in season 2 of Constantine if it hadn't gotten canceled, which is, I'm geeking out. Like, that was a really fun conversation. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, of course, I'm like, would you like to see a picture of my Zatanna costume? And of course, the only pictures I have on my phone are boudoir. I'm like, the only pictures I have are my boudoir that I just did. I
mean, Zatanna's pretty much always boudoir, regardless.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And it was tasteful boudoir, in my opinion. But so I thought he knew what he was consenting to, right? You at this point, you think everyone knows boudoir. In hindsight, I don't think he did.
He didn't quite understand the definition of boudoir.
Yeah. So he sees 2 pictures, and I did not hear him say this. The other people around me heard him. At the second picture, he goes in his British accent. He's like, ooh, these are too hot for my eyes. I didn't. So I showed him a third picture. And he goes,
just keep on. Keep
looking. It's good.
We're
You're
fine.
Gonna look, damn it. You're gonna look. And he goes, oh, hello. And so my cosplay partner was with me, Crayley. She had missed the first part of the conversation, but she walks up and she's like, oh, why is Constantine blushing? And she heard these are too hot for my eyes comment. And then she asked me later, she's like, why did you show him another picture after he said that? I'm like, he said what? And then I did what? So luckily we left right after that, and I didn't get security called on me, and he didn't get my name to, put on the restraining.
So, comfort in cosplay is important. Yes, that is a huge thing for me. I prefer to do comfort over anything when it comes to my cosplays. And if I do not, if there's a cosplay that I'm not quite comfortable with, I won't. I'll try to keep that on in my mind for the future. When I do feel like I'm comfortable. It took me a while to actually get it to do not Supergirl. Wow, brain fart. Power Girl. And
is that with the chest window?
I did do the boob window because I'm still a little uncomfortable with, showing too much cleavage. Yet, sure. Yes, I will do Elvira. But even Elvira took me a little bit to get me up there.
With Elvira, just speaking from experience, you can be taped in very, very easily. And it's just basically this strip right here that shows. So, I mean, there is some comfort in knowing that, not everything's going to pop out at you.
Yeah.
Boob window? Don't know.
But I'm not like good on you guys if you guys are, showing like your body and all that. I'm not trying to shame anybody for that. But I'm just, me personally, I'm not there yet. I'm not there at all to be like the sexy cosplayer, to have an OnlyFans. Hell, I'm not even, I'm barely capable to do my podcasting without being socially awkward.
I don't have an OnlyFans page. I haven't ventured over into that just because it's kind of one of those areas that is still a little bit taboo for me. And my line of work, I would be terrified that somebody would find it and associate it with me. And I've known too many people who have had repercussions at work because of that type of content that's been located. But I do have a tendency to lean towards sexier cosplays a lot of times. And with that said, you were saying about showing yourself, it's like, it's not always that I intend to. It's usually there's a malfunctioning section of the wardrobe. And that wardrobe malfunction with cosplay is a very real thing. Any of y'all experienced this?
I haven't had any wardrobe malfunctions. Although, okay, there is one shoot. I keep going back to my Elvira stuff. I'm sorry, but
you're fine. That's fine.
There is one picture that is out there of me trying to do like the usual, the laying down pose from Elvira, but my dress kind of opened up a little bit more than it should. So, stupid me, I wore beige underwear, so it just makes me look like a really bad rendition of a Barbie doll.
Sadly, my wardrobe malfunctions are never behind closed doors. I have had two that have almost mortified me. The first one, I was with, actually, in both of these, I was with my oldest child, which is even more horrifying. I don't know if you have the photos, but there's a picture of like me, her, and Norman Reedus. So we went to, it was Wizard World, very packed out. Wizard World in New Orleans. I mean, this place was jam-packed. I'm dressed as Wonder Woman. She's dressed as one of the vintage pinup girls from Captain America. So we're kind of like a little matchy couple and everything. But, it was adorable. So I go to take, because I have this big giant, it's a very primitive looking design for Wonder Woman. And I have these real stacked shoulder pads, and I go to take them off. And when I do, I reach down and I take off and all of a sudden the first two busts for my cosplay or my corset, my red corset go And I stand up, and evidently at this point, the photographer's like, she just flashed Norman Reedus. I'm like, what? My daughter looks at me and she's like, Norman Reedus just saw your boobs. I'm like,
oh my God.
What? So I'm like, of course, I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to put everything back together. I'm just going to actually put the shoulder straps, the shoulder piece back on. I walk up to, we're getting the picture made. I'm sitting there staring, and in the picture, I am cracking up because he turns around and he looks at me right before the picture start, the camera snaps, and he says, hello, Wonder Woman. I'm like, oh my God. So we're backing away, and I'm like, you saw my boobs, didn't you? He's like, I'm never saying. So we're walking out. My husband, who is normally my handler, is on the opposite side of the building at the like the snack bar. By the time I get there, there is a rumor flying around that Wonder Woman flashed Norman Reedus in a photo op. I walk up and he looks at me and he's like, it was you, wasn't it? I'm like, I didn't mean to. So, but yes.
Did you at least get beat since you were in New Orleans?
I have spent many years in New Orleans. I don't need beads, but I do have a picture. My daughter is cracking up. I look mortified. She's, everything. Oh my God. I have heard this story from Sean Clark, who is a close friend. Oh, Brian, tell me you're lying. Please tell me you're lying. I am not kidding you though. That by the time I'm like across the room, I'm like, how did you know? How in the world did you know? But
it's mortifying. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I know that moment for me is coming. I
know, me too.
Turn into when I worked over at NCI for a little bit. I used to pride myself on not being like the total fangirl and being around celebrities, but it wasn't until like later on when I started going to conventions that I'm a giant fangirl, and I will be very awkward and nervous around celebrities. Tia Carrera, I love her dearly. I got my picture taken with her a couple times. But the first time I met her and doing the photo op, I'm like shaking. And so yeah, thank God she's a professional, and she's like, it's okay, don't worry about it. I'm just like, I just wanted to meet her so bad, and I dressed up as her as one of her characters, and she caught it right away, and she was telling me stories about her necklace, and so I'm just like screaming inside. But yeah, no, I'm so glad that there was no stage involved, because I probably would have tripped and fall.
Do you find yourself getting almost like shell shock when you see certain celebrities that you're I think we've done, I know that I've done a lot of these events and stuff like that. And for the most part, I'm just like, oh, it's just another person. I'm just going to go say hello. But there are certain celebrities that I absolutely fangirl and freak out over. So Tia Carrera was yours?
Pretty much, yeah.
Kelly?
How about you?
Gail Simone, who is a comics writer, for anyone who doesn't know. I don't know if anyone doesn't know. Oh my gosh. I made a complete ass of myself the first time I met her. I'm going to blame it on the pregnancy hormones. I was pregnant at the time.
You can do that.
Yeah, it was my second convention. And so I didn't really know how this worked. So I didn't think about the fact that she would have, because I had a comic book for her to sign. And I'm like, okay, we're going to need a special Sharpie to make sure she signs it. And so I told my husband and my husband's best friend, who's basically I call him husband number 2 because he dotes on me. He's sweet. So I was like, the whole way down to the convention, the whole first day, I'm like, guys, we got to go buy a Sharpie so she can sign my comic book. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. So, hold on. So I'm going into the store on the main drag of this little convention that's it's like an outdoor convention along in Metropolis. It's the Superman celebration. And she's coming out of the store. And the first words out of my mouth are, I was just going into the store to buy a Sharpie so you can sign my comic book.
Not awkward at all.
No. I was dressed as Black Canary also.
But it would have been better if you could have been holding it.
I know.
Let's just make it as awkward as possible.
Right.
See,
Then
okay.
she was lovely and was like, I have markers. You can come to my booth. Let's take a picture together. And then I'm going to get away from you, crazy lady.
Oh. We all have our missed opportunities too when it comes to celebrities, meet and greets or, chance meetings. What is yours, Del Memphis?
No, you're fine. My missed opportunity, I would probably see Evan Peters. I was at another Wizard World. We were in St. Louis, I do believe, and Evan Peters was there. I was already a fan of American Horror Story, and I just never realized how much of a Evan Peters fan that I would turn out to be. And he was there, and he actually had no one at his table. No one. I was like, yeah, I kind of just walked up and interacted, and I'm just like, no. My youngest child was there, and she was the same event Gene Simmons was at. And my youngest child was there, and she was 100% there to see Gene Simmons because she is that girl. And I think she was maybe 8 or 9 at the time. And but so yeah, we ended up bypassing going to see even Evan Peters, which she would probably cry if she knew this now and realized this now, because she absolutely loves him, to go see Gene Simmons. But she does have this awesome little interaction with him. No, there's not. Pretty much when I go to a con, I handpick the people that I'm most interested in seeing. So I don't generally miss.
Kelly, any missed opportunities or moments that you wish that you had with a celebrity?
Margot Kidder, a year before she passed away, she was in Metropolis, and it was hot, and I was waiting in line, and the line wasn't moving. I found out later she really wasn't feeling well that day, so she was just having a hard time getting through her autograph. So I'm kind of glad I didn't meet her that day, because she just was not feeling her best. But and then she passed, so it's really sad. But I have kind of a not happy, but so then the next year I was also wearing my blue Margot Kidder dress, which I did send you a picture of that.
Yes, you did.
And so the next year I wore that dress again, and Jack O'Halloran, who plays Nun, was there, and he looked up at me when I got his autograph, and he looked at me and he goes, "Margot, I knew you'd find a way to make it."
Aww.
Tears. Just, oh my gosh. It was the most beautiful moment. I was like, oh, Jack O'Halloran's really sweet. Really sweet.
I think the only person that I was never in line. I never had the opportunity, but we were trying to figure out when we could get there. Sid Haig was a staple in horror cons, and he was always one that I wanted to meet. And I honestly was hoping that we would have a little more time with him on this earth. But he is definitely one that I truly regret not actually taking the time and tracking him down and going to meet him, especially considering that I think one of his last appearances was in Nashville, which is not that far from us.
Okay.
Oh, sad. What about you, Willow?
Peter David. I think I've told this story before, but KeyCon happens at during May Long weekend up here, and it's our sci-fi convention. And to have a writer of a comic book series is phenomenal here, because more so it's like they focus on literary writers for sci-fi works, and he's done several things, but for me, it's like Peter David. Oh my God, he did. He wrote for X Factor, and so I have the whole series. I brought it with me. I was excited to get him to sign it. I hung out with him pretty much all weekend. Didn't even think to get him to sign the comic books. So I have unfinished business with Peter David.
But you got to hang out with him and you have the memories.
Yeah, that's just it. Like he was nice. Like I know there's people who have bad experiences, stories about him. I'm just like, he was really nice to me. He loved having me hang out at his booth. But then again, I'm not afraid to become a booth babe either. So but yeah, no, as I walked away from the convention, I'm just like, you dumb idiot.
It happens.
It does.
I didn't get a picture with Matt Ryan. I was too caught up in my social awkwardness.
As cosplayers, we've all come into contact with the odd cosplay bullying as well. How do you guys handle the bad comments or like the rash of cosplay bullies? Have you guys had to deal with that at all?
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I have not. I think that, I don't know, it's kind of an odd, I have dealt with some cheeky individuals who want to interact a little bit inappropriately with me. And then I've had the occasional weirdo that's wanted to like keep me at a table that I was working and when I couldn't break away and was wanting to tell me about his mom's basement and all this other stuff. However, I mean, I've never had anybody just outright just come down and bully me over a cosplay or a costume. The closest I had is I was doing a vintage inspired Wonder Woman that was a pencil skirt, and I had like a little short jacket on, and I actually at that point was wearing my red glasses. And he walked up to me and he said, "Let me guess, librarian Wonder Woman." And I looked at him like, "Should still kick your ass." So, I mean, that's generally how you interact with those kind of people. But I mean, yeah, it's more so what I find most uncomfortable or the guys who walk up to you that want to get a photo with you, and then the next thing you know, they're grabbing your butt. And that's happened more times. And sadly enough, my daughter and I cosplay Green Hornet and Kato together many, many years ago. And she had a similar incident with me standing there, and I didn't realize it. Otherwise, I would have laid him flat on his butt. So, yeah. But yeah, it's more so the inappropriate handsy. I'm like, trust me, we don't want it. We don't need it. Please don't do it, because you might be getting your jollies off of it, but we're barfing on the inside. We are literally throwing up a little bit in my mouth when you reach out and grab a hold of something on me that is highly inappropriate. Yeah, I just threw up a little bit in my mouth when that happened. So, sorry.
I'm sorry you have to deal with that shit. I'm sorry.
Wow.
The show belongs to me now. So, well, I mean, like, if YouTube blocks us if we're swearing this early in the morning, I apologize. But no, I'm really sorry you have to deal with that. And that is very, very inappropriate for people to do. Hence the reason why there's a huge thing for, cosplay is not consent.
Exactly.
And Kelly, what have you like? How did you handle your cosplay bullies?
I haven't had many. Usually my husband's with me, and he's pretty big, so usually guys don't try any shady stuff. But occasionally I'll get comments online about my weight or whatever. Yeah. And for that, you just ignore it, because like, honestly, cosplay is for everyone. Yeah. And I feel like the fact that, like, what are women who are my size or bigger thinking if I'm going to feel bad about myself and stop cosplaying, like cosplay is for everyone. So I'll ignore it, or I'll hit back at them and just be like, you know what? No, that's not cool. And the other thing is, when my husband used to cosplay with me, back when I first started, like over 10 years ago, guys would come up to him and be like, hey, how'd you get your wife to cosplay? And he'd be like, no, she got me into it. She made the costumes. She's the one who reads the comics. So he'd stand up for me, which is nice. But now I feel like guys are starting to realize that, yes, women read comics too. And I feel like the culture is getting better and the sexism is starting to retreat. Like I've met a lot more open-minded people and there's been a lot more acceptance in the geek community. Like a lot of people are talking more openly about the racism and the sexism and the homophobia. And that's really important. And I try to talk about that publicly too, and I think that's really important to talk about.
I'm huge on body positivity when it comes to the cosplay stuff. I love to invite people to do photo shoots on my birthday in costume, and it's like, I don't care who you are, just show up in costume. That's all I want to see is a bunch of people in various costumes. And usually I have like some sort of theme, but I've been doing photo shoots every year since I turned 30. Well, except for last year, I was kind of worried about doing a photo shoot during the pandemic. But no, and a lot of people were actually kind of upset with me, and I'm like, I want to keep you guys safe.
Yeah,
that's my main concern. Kelly, you host various photo shoots. How did you get started with that?
So going to Metropolis at the Superman celebration, no one else was really, or like occasionally people would throw out ideas, but then no one would follow up on it. So I just started, and I have a lot of ideas too. So I was just like, hey, let's do this. And I have a really great photographer that I work with down there who is just, every time I ask him, he says yes. And he's so good at group photo shoots. I love him. His name's Mark Schaefer. He's wonderful. And so, and I'm like you, I'm like, I don't care if you're the body type. I just want enthusiasm and no drama. Our photo, we just have a lot of fun. Like, I sent you a picture of the wedding photo shoot I did with my cosplay husband.
Yes.
We got access to the chapel in Metropolis, and we like recreated the Green Arrow and Black Canary wedding. We had champagne and cake to go with our reception. We had villains crash it. We just recreated the whole storyline. And so like and we start planning like a year ahead of time, and whenever people are welcome to throw out ideas. And I'm like, as long as I don't just take it from them, but they usually come to me now and they're like, okay, I want to do this, help me. And so you just invite people. One of the ideas we did was we tried to get 80 Supermen from all the eras for the 80th Superman. We did fall short, but we tried. We got like, I think 30. I did not send you a picture of that one, but
oh wow.
But we got like 30 for Superman's 80th, and it was really funny because I'm walking down I lost my Superman. We tried to get Superman and then a Lois Lane or some partner for each era. And so my Christopher Reeve Superman to go with my Lois Lane dropped out. He didn't end up coming. So luckily I was in Metropolis. So I'm walking down the street and I just see a random guy dressed as Christopher Reeve Superman. I'm like, hey, you want to come to and he had a friend who also was dressed as Superman. I'm like, hey, you two Supermen, come to a photo shoot in a few hours. So yeah, I just, like pick up random Supermen on the street. Apparently that's how I run my photo shoot. They end up becoming
It's Superman.
Yeah.
You're safe.
It's not creepy at all. They ended up becoming my Facebook friends, and they're really good guys, and it was really fun.
So I'm gonna share these pictures with everyone that you guys posted on chat. But you guys are all fantastic, and like your talent is astounding.
Glorious.
Thank you. These are all my black canaries. That's my favorite character to cosplay.
And you do her so well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Is this the Zatanna that the Zatanna that might have got you in a little bit of trouble?
No, this is a non-boudoir Zatanna. It's hard to tell, like we said. I will say though, even though
I love this.
Okay, so all right. The Loki that is in this picture, he comes to cons in our area on a regular basis. He's got basically a parent family that brings him in, and we were almost had him convinced, but we basically wanted him on the ground, and all of these glorious, strong women just like step on him, puny god. And yeah, he really wasn't going for that. Maybe the next time we see him, he might have changed his mind, realizing he missed an opportunity. Shout out you. Yeah. Loki hates you. There you go. That's you. Loki hates you. We're expecting that next time. Marcy, help us out.
One of my friends, Christina, she dresses up as Loki, and she does an amazing job. Like, she looks like Loki. It's funny. You don't realize that she's a female until like she actually says that she's a female. But yeah, no, she does such a great job, and she stalked. she stalked like all like cosplayers and the actor for months, trying to figure out how to make the helmet and make the outfit, and it's funny. I love her dedication.
Loki hates you. He is a phenomenal, and he not only does the voice, but he's got the mannerisms, and he's 100% the character.
Yeah.
All right, this is my husband as the Question, and myself as Huntress.
It's so cute. Okay, that's bad. That is so cool. That is such a bad
Is that not? This is one of my favorite pictures. This was taken by Mark Schaefer, my Metropolis photographer, who he's one of my favorites to work with. Just, oh my gosh.
I love shooting in areas like this. Old cemeteries are just beautiful, and old. I'm a huge fan of old architecture.
This is actually not an old cemetery. This is outside a museum in Metropolis called the Americana Hollywood. Okay. And they just have a bunch of cool stuff.
Sorry.
No worries. It happens.
Okay, so,
and if you guys haven't noticed, we have a bonus guest. This is Isabel, my daughter.
Well, hello, Isabel. So this is actually from my days of pirating. Somewhere in the middle of being a cosplayer, I was introduced to the pirate community, and
they covered up first.
The people in this picture not only were part of the community that I pirated in, but they were also part of the pirate band that I was in, Bluff City Barnacles. And yeah, I can tell you those are pictures. I can't promise that I remember much about them because there's always rum, lots of rum. So you were commenting that you love these going into places that like old cemeteries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have found that my lifestyle and my activities a lot of times get me into places that I would normally not have access to. And this is one of those situations. This was actually done in a local historic building in downtown Memphis. And we asked for friends. Now, the interesting thing, it was kind of a witchy shop. And so we were like on the other side of us was like the altar and all of this other stuff. But so we had a group of friends come in and do these mugshots, and anyway, you can tell by the end of the day, you get a little worn out.
Yeah.
And this was basically what we thought would be. Yeah, this is what we felt like at the end of the day. And then we left looking like this, bruises, beat up, and went to dinner.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
that is beautiful. I love the corset.
Thank you. Thank you. This is one of the images that I shot. This was another one of these really bizarre locations that we had access to. This is a goat farm. It is an abandoned industrial site that has been turned into a goat farm. There are goats all over the place. And so a friend of ours actually, who was doing some photos with us, jumped in and was able to do this with us. But this is also the picture that most people saw and said, you need to do Bellatrix. Right
Nice.
here.
Yes.
But yeah, that was one of those weird, excuse me, can we come in and shoot with your goats? These are not their goats. These are actually added in, but there were goats all over the place, but I could not get them to come near me. And I'm like, here, go. Please come see me, goats. I love goats. Okay, go ahead.
This is neat. I like this.
Okay, so this was a great adventure. This was the first time that I had ever gone to a horror con. And if you have never experienced a horror con and you are into horror movies and that environment, these are people that you cannot be prepared to meet these people. They are the most inviting. They are wonderful. I think at this event, first of all, I came in and I was dressed as Tora Satana from Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. And there's not a whole lot of cosplay. So when you do come in dressed in cosplay, you're treated as royalty. And they immediately were like, oh, yeah, you're supposed to be here. We're supposed to have a booth. And I'm like, you know who I am? And I'm like, okay, no, I don't have a booth. We're just here videoing. So we walk around and we actually we video, we like walk up to the guests, like the celebrity guests, and interact with them. And I have several there. This is actually on the DL channel. You can watch the whole experience, but I do have several celebrity interviews that I was extremely proud of from this. But yeah, of course, I was being stalked, so there was that too. Kind of fun.
It's funny, like you mentioned HorrorCon and the people. I actually met Kane Hodder at our HorrorCon, and speaking of missed opportunities, no, I did not get my picture taken with Kane. I really wanted to. I just don't know why I freaked out. I just decided not to, but he followed me throughout the whole convention.
Speaking of stalking.
He loved being around me for whatever reason, but he gives the best hugs. If you need a back crack, go see Kane Hodder.
I'm just going to tell you this. I was absolutely smitten with, it was at that same con with Michael Berryman. I was not anticipating him to be the personality that he was. He is, he's known for being these just really frightening and just horrifying characters, but he's such a wonderful humanitarian. He talked about I sat down and talked to him one-on-one for quite a while and had some film with that, but also sat in with one of his panels, and he was talking about swimming with dolphins and some of the conservation efforts that he has done. And it was just an incredible experience. This is another one of those really cool locations that I got to go into that I don't think a lot of people have they've been in it in the past. So we have a location here in Memphis. It's called The Castle, and The Castle was owned by Prince Mongo, who is one of Memphis's most notorious icon and strange individuals. And there was some debate whether or not they were going to restore it or tear it down. And I had a friend who sadly is no longer with us, but he was a photographer that wanted to get some pictures there. And the piano was there. The bowl of candy was there. It was a completely emptied out. This was like a nightclub at one time, and it was like multi-layers. We walked in at one point and there was we went downstairs in the very lower depths, like the basement area, and there was like unused cigarette or like unopened cigarettes from like a machine. I actually ended up with some glassware and a menu from that, but it was once again a cool place that I got to go. If you've ever seen the castle in Memphis, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous place. I mean, it's a beautiful building.
One of my favorite places to go for photo shoots in my city is the legislature building. So it's like a mixture of different architecture eras, and like outside is beautiful, inside is just phenomenal. It's kind of creepy when nobody's in there, but I love like the stairways and just everything about turn of the century architecture is like my favorite, and my city is full of turn of the century architecture. I like this.
This was actually supposed to be part of a pinup calendar, and I was brought in. We drove for like hours to get to the site to do this, and it was basically in somebody's house. And the photographer she was phenomenal. I'd have to look her up. I'll send her information so we can link her in the comments below. But this picture has been floating around for many years. The young lady that's with me, her name is Abby Normal. She is and yes, that's Abby Normal as in Young Frankenstein. And she has been in the pinup community, and she is a body positive pinup artist. And
nice.
I met her, fell in love with her. Honestly, I think that she became my witch sister immediately. And a couple of years ago, if you'll notice the cartoon or the comic version, Adam Cozart actually took one of these images, or took the one image, and created a original piece for me that I won, and it was a kind of a freebie, and I do have hard copies of it here, and I probably have a stack of them. But it's just one of those really, really unique opportunities that I got to participate in, just simply because of the lifestyle and the things that I do.
Yeah. Well, I should probably focus on some of the questions that have popped up in here. I do appreciate the comments, you guys. I'm sorry if I'm really bad at not answering any of your questions. I know Funko Pops. Here we go. Anyone on the panel collect Funko Pops?
Me, I do. Yes. Every cosplay that I do, I seek out the Funko Pop.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many Funko Pops do you have?
It's embarrassing. I don't want to say. It's like stupid, embarrassing. But it's not just me. I will seek out Funko Pops that I do, but of cosplays, but also like one of the things that I want to do in the near future is I want to do an Alice Cooper like makeup set and stuff like that. It's not going to be a cosplay that goes anywhere. I'm just a huge, huge, huge Alice Cooper fan. So I have a Funko Pop, and I basically want to put together a makeup design for him and stuff. But and then I buy them for my children who cosplay as well, and there's some for my husband mixed in there. But you know, he's not a cosplayer, at least not yet. Working on it.
How about you, Kelly? How many Funko Pops do you have? I see a couple behind you already.
Yes, this is my Wonder Woman shelf. I have some canary pups. I try to collect them. Oh my gosh, sorry. Keep losing my earbud. Try to collect them to go with all my cosplays, so I've lost count.
Ryan's really bad at trying to convince me that I need more Funko Pops. I have a couple more than just the two Elvira ones, but they're in boxes, and I'm planning on selling them. But I do have some Marvel and some wrestling ones. I'm not attached to them per se. I can't do the Funko Pop thing, although I'm really bad at when it comes to figurines and going to Walmart and anything Batman. Like if it's a 66 Batmobile, I gotta buy it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure eventually maybe I'll pick up a Funko Pop of the Batmobile if it arises, but even when it comes to other stuff from TV, me and my husband were into the car hobby, and hence why I got into the pinup world is because the two kind of mingle together.
Yes.
And so you can't have a classic car without having the pinup style to go along with it, or at least in my head. So anything that like Dukes of Hazzard, the Munster Coach, you know, I have to jump on right away if I see it. But yeah, no, as far as Funkos, I'm not a huge collector. One trade that should be on everybody's bookshelf, I'm guessing he's talking about books. What do you recommend for geek books?
The Legend of Wonder Woman is one of my favorites. But
I don't know so much that I buy into like the geek, but I do have like the couple that I was showing you there, but I have a tendency to lean towards like classic horror, so literature and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'm not really a big, I know this is the real geek girl confession. I don't read a lot of comic books.
We love you anyways.
Yes.
I as far as books, like I'm really bad for not reading.
And we love you anyways.
I do a lot of social media stuff, so that's my reading. But buying books, I haven't really bought a book in a long time, but you know, I do support my writer friends, and I do support people in the industries. Mixtron made this book last year, Behind the Screams, talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So nice. That's what I recommend. Go buy his book. Bunch of comments. Yeah, Jerome. Never walk into the middle of a conversation.
I feel like Jerome may have missed something. You walked into the middle of a conversation. What were we talking about?
That was beginning of the show. So
boobs.
Bunch of you're all on a watch list now.
Probably. I think I've been on one for a long time. You flash Norman Reedus. Your penance is to go to church and done that. I think I've done that. Also flashed William Shatner, but that's a different story. Actually, might have popped a button off and smacked him in the face with it. There's a picture.
Oh my goodness.
What's my penance for that?
Oh,
just a sec, guys. I just have to plug in my laptop.
No worries.
Peter David's Hulk run is awesome.
I'll have to definitely read that one. Bruce Campbell passing. That's cool.
Oh my gosh, Bruce Campbell's amazing.
Oh, I love Bruce Campbell. And he is wonderful to do photo ops with. If you come and do a photo, my husband and I have both done a photo op with him together. And generally what he does is he will grab the female and shove the guy away. And it's like, oh yeah, he's a blast. So.
Okay. I'm sorry. Excuse me a moment. Simba, stop.
Hey, my mom's basement is impeccable. Is that where you store the bodies? I missed something.
Yeah. When we were talking about the bullies. Okay, Simba, stop. he's playing around with my skirt.
Carl Whitman Witzman wants to know where we learned our manners. Obviously, someone.
No, he's talking about the guys.
Cosplay bullying. Yeah.
Oh. Well, no, they got caught. They got taught. Might not have been what they were expecting.
So Nicola wants to cosplay him because she's okay. Here's the thing.
Do it.
I'm a big woman as well. Like I'm over 200 pounds. And it's not just in the boobs. But no, I really recommend you doing it because it's freeing, it's empowering, and with the right people that you meet, you will get more and more tips. People are willing to help you. Trust me, we are. I'm always willing to answer questions and encourage people.
I think cosplay has become a bit more embracing of all body types. I mean, whether you are thick or thin, but also if you have interest, the pinup community and the vintage community is also extremely embracing to curvier girls. And I think both of those areas, both of those arenas are somewhere that you can definitely get a lot of confidence. And especially if you have a group of girlfriends that you can interact with that just build you up and make you feel strong. I think that's the key to it all. Hang with people that if somebody says something nasty, they'll chew them up and spit them out.
Yeah. Good morning, Ted. Good to see you.
Good morning, Ted.
Nicole Marie has gummy bear Funkos. I do love looking at the Funkos and seeing what they have. They're getting more and more adorable. There was when Resident Evil 7 came out, I believe that's when they started releasing the Resident Evil Funkos, and I walked by Nemesis and I'm just like, walk away. Coffee table books. Coffee table books. We could talk about this stuff all day, couple more minutes and then we'll do a close. But coffee table books. I have the Elvira. I was just gonna say.
Of course.
She's releasing a memoir book now too, and so I definitely have to pick that up. Any cool coffee table books that you have, Kelly?
So I have like the history of Superman, the history of Wonder Woman. Those are my main coffee table books.
I have several just pinup books and the Elvira book. The Elvira book is probably my favorite though.
And Rob, with what are your favorite, most inspiring female heroes from comics or TV?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, Wonder Woman's obvious.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Morticia. I just think that she is a phenomenal mother and a phenomenal wife, and she should be the goal of every woman. And this is who you should want to be, because I mean, she understands family. She understands the importance of it and being weird within your own family. So yeah, Morticia is probably my favorite, most inspiring hero.
Yours, Kelly?
So Black Canary is my favorite character because she can be feminine, she can be strong, she's powerful, she's overcome trauma, she has a lot of female friends that she builds up. She's kind of the mom friend. I cannot say enough. Don't judge the character by what you've seen of her in live action on TV or even in the movies. Like, not to knock the live action versions of the character, but the comics, this character is so multi-layered and so inspiring, to the point that I have a tattoo. Like, when I was going through a hard time, I have a tattoo that's the Black Canary symbol, and I use the Beatles lyric that take these broken wings and learn to fly, because that just embodies the character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my reminder to myself to do that even when I'm going through hard times. And so that's how inspiring the character is to me.
I know, DL, you have an Elvira tattoo. I have yet to get one, so I'm probably the most vanilla woman that you'll ever meet.
I doubt that.
No. So yeah, I'm sure you guys, are you guys planning on getting any more tattoos?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My most recent is can you see it? Can you see it? My dark mark.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yep, that goes right with Bellatrix.
Yeah. So yeah, I have designs and stuff that are laid out. It's just need some money.
I'm
So,
going to.
Oh no,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm gonna get the Phoenix symbol on the back of my neck to match with Creeley, my Phoenix sister, because
Okay.
we have a psychic connection. Which that's a story we'll save for part 2.
Yes. Yes. Nicole has 5 tattoos. You know, I should just go in and get a tattoo. Have them like go in with somewhat of an idea. I just keep changing my ideas all the time, so that's why I haven't gone to get one yet. But I think I'm just gonna go and say to my friend, just do it.
Surprise
Start me
me.
off.
How many do you have, Kelly? How many do you have?
Just the one,
Okay.
and I just got it last year, so
Okay.
it took me a long time. But I've been thinking about getting the Black Canary symbol for like 5 years. And then last year I was going through some stuff and I was like, okay, now's the time. I need this reminder on my body.
Mine start our blending together, but individually, I think there's like 8 now. So
Wow.
Oh wow. All right. So where can we find you guys on the internet?
okay, well, you can find me on Facebook. Look for the DL Memphis Pinup Cosplayer. I am also at DL Memphis on Instagram, and I have a DL Memphis YouTube channel, which also has like all of my digging deeper videos, and then also look for the Murdering Crows, which is my band. And you can, if you go to Instagram, I have a link tree. You can find everything from there.
I still need to set one up. Kelly, where can we find you?
Phoenix Sisters Cosplay on Facebook and Instagram, and then Phoenix Sisters on YouTube, and also Drunk Comics on Instagram and Facebook. But I do a lot of cross promotion, so if you find me on any of those, I'm going to be linking to all the others.
And you can find me pretty much everywhere. I'm the social butterfly.
Yes.
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, everywhere. I'm everywhere.
And we love you for that.
So if you guys like what you see, please subscribe, like, share this podcast. I am not the usual host of Back of the Cereal Box. This may be the one-time thing.
John's gonna be like, oh, they dropped some swear words. They're out.
Wait a minute. He said specifically not the F-bomb. We were good there.
That's true. That's true. I got that in writing.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring, people. Share away.
So I appreciate you guys tuning in. So yeah, here's it. Go to Patreon and subscribe to subscribe, donate, all that wonderful stuff. I didn't. And then johnpica.com. You know, all that lovely stuff John wants us to promote.
Basically, find Johnny on Patreon, and you can here are all of the places you can find him and donate to the program to keep crazies like us going.
Yes. So thank you again for joining us here. There is oh shoot, I didn't promote Cindy Kep's video. Let's do that now.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP AubryX.com today.
So yes, thank you for supporting the show. Thank you to the sponsors. And sorry, Johnny, if I'm kind of all over the place. But this is what you get with me.
We did give a precursor warning earlier this week during the WandaVision. We already apologized. We're good.
One of these days I will get my stuff together, but not today.
I didn't like
Today
it.
is not that day.
All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Please tune in to Reels and Heels later on. I will be properly dressed. Maybe.
Oh, I'd say that's pretty proper.
Well, okay, if you guys aren't sick of me, then tune into Reels and Heels. I will see you guys later. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today. Have a great day and pleasant dreams.